you've just gone through a friendship breakup and it hurts, don't worry, I've got you. We're gonna get through this together. Hi, besties, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I want to talk about losing friends and moving on from the hurt. I have actually gone through this a lot in my life, and in fact, actually recently I've gone through this too. So, I actually want to start off by giving you guys a bit of a backstory on the friendship breakups that I've been through. So, the first time I went through quite an intense friendship breakup was with my friendship group from high school. We all used to meet up quite often, and we didn't actually have any of the same hobbies or interests or anything. We basically only met to drink and party and have fun, but I didn't really feel like I was able to reach out to those people when I went through something difficult. It was quite painful actually because I didn't even know which of these people was my closest friend or who I could turn to and really trust. I eventually realized that these people were holding me back from achieving success because these people were influencing me into making bad decisions, having bad habits, and I actually wanted to move forward with my life. So unfortunately, I had to let them go to be able to do that. Losing my childhood best friend was definitely the hardest friendship breakup I had because even though we didn't have the same hobbies, we did have a lot of the same interests and we were able to talk to each other when we were going through difficult things. We actually trusted each other quite a lot. But when I was going through my difficult times and drinking a lot, which was caused by my mental health not being the best, she wasn't really supportive. Instead of actually talking to me and being there for me through those times, she judged me for being the way that I was. And as much as I understand that could have been difficult for her to watch, I still feel like if your friend cares about you, they would stay through the good and through the bad times. They wouldn't just leave you when things go wrong. They would actually be patient with you. So she actually just stopped being friends with me for that reason. And that was very difficult. It felt like heartbreak. It felt worse than any romantic heartbreak I've ever experienced. Moving on from that took me a while, but I did eventually realize that I don't need friends like that judge me and don't support me. And then I actually had one more friend left after all of that I went through with friendships. I had one friend left, and although nothing was ever going wrong between us, we didn't argue, we didn't have any conflict. We met up occasionally and spoke to one another, but the thing with this friend was that she wasn't fully committed to having a proper friendship. She would basically never message me for weeks on end sometimes. And if she ever did message me, it was only to arrange hanging out with me. So it felt like if I had a problem or just really wanted to speak to her about something, I knew already that I wasn't going to be able to rely on her. It's hard to have a friend like that. You need to be able to rely on your friends. And so I stopped talking to her. And well, a lot of time has passed by, no message. And well, that is a good way of knowing that the friendship is over because it can't just be one sided, it has to be two-sided. Both people have to be committed for a friendship to exist. So as you can see, I've had my fair share of friendship breakups and drama related to friendships. That's why now I want to give you guys my best tips based on experience on how to deal with friendship breakups. And my first tip for you guys is to actually just grieve the friendship the same way that you would grieve the loss of a romantic partner. Because even though this person probably caused you a lot of pain, a lot of trauma potentially, a lot of hurt, they were probably quite an important part of your life, and you probably had a lot of fond memories with that person. Therefore, it is normal for you to feel upset that they're gone, and you need to allow yourself to feel sad. You have permission to feel sad. remember, cry as much as you need to cry. Listen to sad songs. Cry to sad songs. Let your anger out in a healthy way. There's many ways you can do that, but I personally like to listen to music and journal about it. Vent in my journal. Just release everything out of my system and know that I've really just processed it before I try to heal and move on fully. Tip number two is to let go. Just finally let go and accept that they're gone. Realize why this was for the best, okay? Like I said, this person probably caused you a lot of pain. They potentially stopped you from being the best version of yourself. They limited you, controlled you, caused you so much stress. You know how they've hurt you, and you know why you're better off without them. You need to realize that. Know that this was the best thing that could possibly happen. Continuing the friendship would have stopped you from being the happiest and best version of yourself. That's why you need to know it had to happen. Tip number three is to open up a new chapter of your life. Now that these people are gone, now that your friends are no longer in your life, you have basically opened a new chapter. You have let go of what's old, let go of what doesn't serve you to make space for better, brighter, more positive things to enter your life. And really, sometimes you have to do that. You have to do a lot of letting go to make space for much better things. You can now officially focus on your personal growth and do the things you feel like you've been limited from doing. Tip number five is to actually become the type of person you want to be friends with. I genuinely feel like you sometimes attract what you are. You have to actually find people that will match with your energy, and you can only do that by making sure you are what you want. For example, I want friends that care about personal growth, about success, and that want to achieve big things in their life. And I can only do that if I actually am that way myself, because we have to have matched energies, right, to find each other, to cross paths in some sort of way. So just think about it. Who do you want to be? And who do you want your friends to be? My next tip is for you to become more self aware so that you don't allow people to walk all over you again. It is important for you to start to recognize whether someone's vibe and energy is right or not a good fit for you. I feel like sometimes when you meet people, you can just tell whether they have a good vibe or like their vibe's a little bit off. Like sometimes it does take a lot of awareness to read people, but the biggest thing to remember is to just not be too naive, not to trust people as soon as you meet them and just allow them to be your bestie immediately. Personally, for me, I've become very strict with who I let enter my life because I don't want to be hurt again and I don't want to have friends that are not aligned with my current values. I have very specific values now, and I actually just really want friends that inspire me, help me grow, and therefore, if I'm at a party or wherever and I see people that are just being really silly, gossiping a lot, being a bit rude, those are not people that will inspire me and help me move forward. I need to have friends that are kind, caring, and smart and aligned with who I want to be. So it takes a lot for me to trust people now. And it's very important to do that because you don't want to go through what you have just been through again. The last thing I want to touch on today is the fact that because you're going to be cutting people out of your life now, you might actually end up spending a lot more time alone. And therefore, you need to learn to love spending time alone. It is very important that you take this time to just be with yourself and to not rush into new friendships, heal for a good amount of time. That's why you really need to just love your own company. And I'm not going to really spend a lot of time talking about this because I've got a whole video about this topic. I'm going to leave it on the screen at the end so you can watch it if you want to. That is it for my tips for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if there's one thing I just want you to remember and take with you on this healing journey is to just know your self-worth. You need to know what you do and don't deserve. And let me tell you, you deserve the best. You don't deserve to have people walk all over you. You've been through a lot, and the last thing you need now is more hurt, more pain. So please take the time to heal and realize your worth. And I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your week. I will see you next week with another video. Bye!